The morning after my husband's funeral, I stood in the kitchen still dressed in black, clutching a cup of cold coffee that I hadn't touched. My daughter walked in, not with grief on her face, but with a sharpness that cut through the air like broken glass. She folded her arms, leaned against the doorway, and with a voice dripping with disgust she said, "Find somewhere else to die, Mother. You're useless now." For a moment the air left my lungs. Not from shock. I'd seen the signs of her cruelty long before, but from the audacity of it. My husband's body was barely in the ground, and she was already dismantling everything we had built together. I didn't beg. I didn't argue. I quietly packed a small suitcase, leaving behind the walls that carried my laughter, my tears, my marriage, and the childhood memories I thought she cherished. She thought she had won. But what she didn't know was that the victory she was celebrating was nothing but smoke and mirrors. As I zipped my bag, my mind drifted back to her as a little girl. I used to braid her hair every morning before school. She would chatter endlessly, tugging on my hands, asking if I'd sit in the front row at her play, if I'd clap the loudest. I gave her everything. The best schools, the nicest clothes, the life my husband and I worked tirelessly to provide. But it was never enough. Even as a child, she looked past us, hungry for more. My husband noticed, too. In the quiet of the night he would whisper, "She's mine by blood, but yours by love. Don't let her lose herself." Tried. God knows I tried. But greed is louder than love. At the funeral I saw it. The fake tears, the way she hovered around the lawyer instead of greeting mourners, asking about accounts before offering condolences. That night, I overheard her on the phone, her voice slick with triumph. "It's all mine now. The house, the money. She's just a shadow. I'll push her out. You'll see." That was when I realized. My daughter wasn't mourning her father. She was celebrating her inheritance. I could have broken under the betrayal. But I didn't. Because I knew something she didn't. Months earlier my husband had sat me down. He didn't trust her. He showed me the will. He'd rewritten everything not to punish her but to test her. And now she was failing that test spectacularly. So I stayed quiet. I let her smirk. I let her believe she had won. I let her throw me out like garbage, all while carrying the secret that her empire was built on paper. 3 days later the lawyer called. The will was ready to be read. My daughter arrived first, dripping in diamonds wrapped in silk, walking into that office as if she were royalty. She didn't even look at me. She simply smirked, leaned back in her chair and said, "Let's make this quick. I already know what's mine." The lawyer chuckled, shuffling papers. He glanced at me with steady eyes before turning to her. "Did you even read the will?" Her smile froze. "What do you mean?" she snapped. And then the truth unfolded. The house, the fortune, the $33 million. None of it was hers. Every cent had been placed in a trust. Not hers to squander. Not hers to touch. The conditions were clear. She would receive nothing until she turned 40. Until then, it would all be managed by me. Her face drained of color. Her hands trembled as she whispered, "No, that's not possible. He wouldn't do this." "He did," I said, my voice calm, steady, unshaken. "He knew who you were becoming. He wanted to protect you from yourself." She shot to her feet, her chair screeching across the polished floor. "You can't control me. This is my life." The lawyer slid another document across the table. "Actually, miss, your father could. And he did. You'll receive an allowance, enough to live. Nothing more. The rest remains in your mother's hands." Her breathing quickened, her eyes darting to me, filled with venom and fear. "You planned this," she hissed. I leaned forward, meeting her gaze with the weight of every sacrifice, every sleepless night I had spent raising her. "No, you did. The moment you showed the world exactly who you are." For the first time she looked small, powerless. I walked out of that office with the lawyer's words echoing in her silence. She had kicked me out of my own home, certain she was untouchable. But the truth was simple. She owned nothing, controlled nothing. Not the house, not the money, not even her future. When I returned to the house, my suitcase still packed, I slid the key into the lock and stepped inside. She was gone. Just a memory. The home was quiet again, peaceful. I stood in the center of the living room, breathing deeply for the first time since the funeral. Revenge wasn't about humiliating her. It was about restoring balance, about protecting what my husband and I had built, ensuring she could never use us as stepping stones again. And as the silence wrapped around me, I whispered into the stillness. You wanted me gone, but it's you who lost everything.